Hey everybody! Welcome to Mondays with Mark. I'm Mark, and this is Smokey Steve and Mark. Oh, I guess it is. Welcome or welcome back, everybody. If you have a moment, please hit that subscribe button, okay? Also hit the notification bell so you know when we have a new video out, okay? I would really appreciate it. Thank you. Oh, I know I say this every week. I do, but it bears repeating. I'm so happy to see you. How are you doing anyway? I hope you had a fantastic weekend. I really do. We had a nice calm weekend here. I got some decorations done and did a little crafting, a little cooking. Oh man, and tonight I have a great episode for you. I do. This is our holiday doubleheader. Oh yeah, oh yeah. We're gonna be in the kitchen making some homemade preserves. Then I have a really cool holiday DIY for you. And it has pine cones in it. I just love pine cones, but we'll talk a little bit more about that later. So yeah, how are you doing? It is very nice to see you. You know, again, I know I always say this, but I always look forward to Mondays with Mark. You know, it's just our time together, just you and I. We get the chit chat, get caught up, maybe make something, you know. Special time for me. And, you know, Mondays tend to be a little stressful, so very happy to be here, and I hope you are too, right? So, wow, yeah, gosh, first full week in December. We have a lot of fun stuff happening this week. I mean, everywhere, actually. December 11th, Hanukkah starts at sundown. All the latke and the rugula. Can't wait, can't wait. December 13th, the Geminid meteor shower is at its full glory. Get outside and check that out. I can't wait to see it. I hope we can see it this year. I don't know, we'll see. What else do we have? Oh, I've been seeing all the outside decorations through the neighborhood are all up. I even got mine up too this weekend. Yay! Almost done with the decorations. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it, and I'm sure I'm gonna tweak it a little bit, Oh. Howdy, everybody. How are ya? Merry Christmas to you. Well, thank you for stopping by. Oh, yeah, I'm really happy with it. Like, I'm sure I'm going to be adding a few things to it here and there, but I like it. You know, pretty simple. I didn't go overboard. I think it looks pretty cool. I hope you like it too. And let's see. Oh god, yeah, next Monday. I guess that's part of this week. I don't know. It kind of starts a new week, right? But next Monday, it's our New Moon Madness video. Oh yeah, it's our Christmas New Moon episode. I can't wait. That's gonna be a lot of fun. And of course, you know, around this time of the year, you know, we can have some mental health issues, right? I know that myself, you know, I've been struggling a bit recently too with mood, you know, being up and down and anxiety. Holidays have a way of doing that, especially this year in light of everything that's going on. So this Wednesday, Steve and I are going to do an episode all about mental health and the holidays, and probably zeroing in on depression and anxiety, you know, so definitely check that out this Wednesday, all right? So, on to our episode tonight. Yes, we have a double header, all right? So, we have a DIY for you, and it's going to have pine cones in it. It's kind of farmhousey, really cool. But first, I want to take you into the kitchen and make some homemade preserves. Yes, I got to can this year. But you know what? Every year I'm like, oh, I want to make homemade jelly, homemade jams. I want to do some canning and stuff like that. But it just seems like such an overwhelming process, right? It seems like there's so much involved in it. It takes so much time. So every year I put it off, and then never do it. And then this year I remembered my easy preserves recipe, right? This is recipe is so easy to do, and it's absolutely delicious. Has 3 ingredients in it. It saves so much time, and I adapted it for the Instant Pot too. So let's go over to the kitchen and I will show you all about it. All right, let's go. Hey, how are you? Okay, so I'm about to share with you my easy Instapot jam recipe. Oh yeah, this is perfect for saving time around the holidays, and the jam comes out just perfect. And there's only 3 ingredients too. It doesn't get better than that, right? All right, so I'm going to show you how to do it in the Instant Pot, but you can also do this on a stove or in a stove top pressure cooker as well. All right, so let's get started. So for this recipe, you will need 2 pounds of fruit of your choice. I'm going with blueberries, my favorite jam of all. Blueberry jam. Oh yeah. But 2 pounds, any type of, you could do strawberry rhubarb, any kind you want. I really was so excited because I wanted to do fig jam this year, but I went to buy figs. They're so incredibly expensive this year, and I didn't have time to shop around, so I went with the next best thing. Blueberry. Okay, so we got that. You're going to need 1 pound of honey. Now that equates to about 1.25 cups of honey. You could use raw local honey if you want. I purchased this at Walmart. It was about 10 bucks. There's 5 pounds in there. Pretty good deal, I think. And you're going to need the zest from 1 lemon, okay? Now, in addition to that, you'll need some jars. Now, this is refrigerator jam, okay? Now, I'm also going to tell you how we can process it and make it shelf stable too, but I'm doing refrigerator jam this year because I'm a little short on time, and so you're going to need some jars. So you can use really any kind of jar you want. These are all repurposed jars. This is salsa. I like the look of this jar, so I'm going to clean these out and use those. And then you can also get mason jars or ball jars, you know, whatever kind you want. This was a cute one. This is a vintage collector ball ones. I like these ones. I'm going to use this. These are 8-ounce jars, okay? Now, this recipe is going to make, it's a pretty small recipe, so you can feel free to double it, even triple it if you want to make large batches. And if you want to make a tiny little bit, you can cut it in half too. But this will make about 3 pints of jam for you, okay? All right, so now you want to get your jars ready, and since this is refrigerator jam, we're not processing it. You just want to make sure that they're nice and clean inside and out. We'll get to the processing part later if you want to do that, all right? So in the Instapot, we are going to set our Instapot to saute, and we want to have it on less. Now, you could also use the keep warm function. It'll take a little bit longer, but I'm going to use the saute on low. And we're going to add our fruit right in there, just like so. All right. Add our zest. Get all that yumminess in there. Lemon zest will enhance the flavor of any fruit that you put in there. It's not going to taste like lemons, don't worry. All right, and then we're going to add our honey right to the fruit, just like so, all right? Now, I know there's a tip out there that says spray your measuring cup first, you know, with nonstick spray. But for this recipe, I encourage you not to do that because we don't really want to get any of the spray residue into our jam, especially if we're going to process it, okay? All right, so really, hot water and soap will clean this right up. I know it's sticky, but it'll clean it right up. All right, so we have that in there, and we're just going to give it a stir. Just make sure all your fruit is a little bit covered. Doesn't have to be perfect, just a little bit. All right, so now what we're going to do is wait. And the purpose of this step is to let the honey melt, all right? And depending on if you're, you know, what type of fruit you're using and if you're using frozen fruit or not, you can absolutely use frozen fruit for this recipe too. Now that will take a little bit longer to melt, all right? So why don't I let this go and I'll see you back in a couple minutes. All right. Ooh, looking good. Okay, this is exactly what we want to see. Our honey is all nice and melted. Okay, now if you're doing a pressure cooker on the stove, same way applies, just use low heat until your honey is melted. Now at this point, we're going to switch our saute function to high or more, depending on your Instant Pot, and we're going to bring the mixture to a boil. Stovetop, same thing. Turn your heat to high and bring it to a boil. And you'll know it's boiling because tiny little bubbles will form all around the fruit. Now, after it comes to a boil, we're going to hit cancel, and we're going to put the lid on, make sure it's sealed, and we're going to pressurize it on high for 2 minutes and allow it to naturally decompress. All right? I guess I'll do that now. I'll see you in a second. Okay, so we have allowed it to pressure cook on high for 2 minutes, and then we let it depressurize naturally, and that was about 15 minutes or so. Okay, so the next point, shut everything off, and then turn your Instant Pot back on to saute high and bring your mixture to a boil. Now, this is to allow it to reduce down, okay? And you want to stir it, every so often, especially the bottom of it. And we want to let it gel. So you'll know that it would gel whenever, like, you dip a spoon into it and it drips off like gelled, okay? Like, this is too liquidy right now, okay? Now, this process will take anywhere from 5 minutes to 20 minutes, depending on the size of your fruit and how much water is in there. As long as you keep an eye on it, give it a stir every once in a while, you'll be fine. Feel free to play with the time. You just want it to be a consistency that you like and that it's gelled. So I'll let that happen and I'll check back with you in a few. Ooh, okay, it is perfect. So this boiled for about 10 minutes and I shut it all off. If you're doing it on the stove, just remove it from the heat, okay? And as you can see, it falls off the spoon. It's more gelled. That is the difference. I guess you can see the difference from when we did it before. That's when you know that it's ready to go. It's nice and gelled like that. A little thicker, some of the water came out. Ready to go. So the next step is it goes right into our jars, okay? So let's do that. While it's still warm, we're going to put it right into our jars here, so I'll try not to make a mess. I mean, you get the idea, but I do want to show you. Ooh, and this is going to get, thicker once it cools. Oh, it's going to be so good. Okay. Put this in here like this. And you want to leave about, say about a ½ inch or so from the top. That works. Yeah, that's good. Okay. We'll wipe the rim off here. Make sure your rim's nice and clean. And put our lid on. Bam. And then we're going to let that cool down a little bit and pop it in the fridge, and you are ready to go. You guys, this recipe is so easy and so delicious. I really hope you give it a try, okay? Make sure you pop them in the fridge afterwards. Okay, so now, if you want a shelf-stable jar, preserves, right? We're going to talk just a second about canning, okay? Now, if you want to do that, I would not recommend, don't use repurposed jars, okay? Like we said at the beginning, the repurposed jars are perfect for refrigerated jam. But you want to have a jar, mason-type jars. They are specially designed, to withstand, to temper the hot water, and it'll give you a nice vacuum seal on there. And to do that, which is called canning, and incidentally, why is it called canning anyway? I mean, we use glass jars. Now, some enthusiasts have petitioned to have it changed to jarring instead of canning, but jarring kind of sounds like, well, that's jarring, But anyway, so it is still canning even though we use glass jars. So at this point, after you fill up your jar using a mason type jar, we would pop this back into boiling water for about 10 to 15 minutes until a vacuum forms. Then we take it out and let it cool down. As it cools down, the rim, the lid, all of that in there will form a nice airtight seal, and this will be good without refrigeration, shelf-stable preserves. Now, this is a little different than pressure canning. Now, there's water bath canning and pressure canning, and of course, refrigerator canning, which we just did. Pressure canning is a whole different ballgame. Pressure canning, you need to have special equipment for that, and it is basically a kind of, big, pressure cooker. Not the same as a regular stovetop pressure cooker. This device allows it to reach much higher temperatures than you get with regular boiling water. And the difference between the two, between a water bath and a pressure canning system, is water bath is you boil your jars. You boil your jars to get that seal and everything, and that's great, that's fine. Pressure cooking adds pressure and really high heat to it. And it all depends on the food that you want to can as well. Your acidic foods like preserves or pickled vegetables, even tomatoes, are just perfect for water bath canning. Other foods like stocks and any type of animal products or anything like that, you definitely want to use a pressure canning system to do that, okay? All right, so really, at this point, if I wanted these to be like totally shelf stable, I would pop them back into the Instant Pot, which is filled with water, bring it to a boil for 10 to 15 minutes, take it out, let it cool, and we're good to go with that as well. Just be sure to use very clean jars. And to get them clean, listen, take them out, take the lids off, boil them for about 10 minutes in boiling water, and then dry them off with a really clean towel. Try not to touch the inside of the jar or anything, I don't want anybody getting botulism or anything, right? All right, just follow these little tips and you will have some delicious preserves all winter long. I think I'm gonna, I don't know, you know what I like to do with these? I like to warm it back up and pour it over some vanilla ice cream. I think dessert is ready for tonight. I hope you enjoyed and I hope you try it. Let me know if you do, okay? Okay. Yum, yum, yum. Oh my goodness. So these I did process, okay? So they are shelf stable. And one thing I didn't tell you, that when you are processing your jars, make sure that you keep it at a rolling boil the entire time, and make sure that the water level is up above your lid, at least an inch or two above the lid at all times, okay? Now, I just gave you a real quick rundown about canning and processing. I would definitely urge you to check your own owner's warranty and manual for the Instant Pot, to properly process your jars. And also, check out Google about processing if you want to look into this anymore. Like I said, I just gave you a quick rundown, and I do want you to do it properly, okay? Also, I will post something over on Facebook, okay, that has all the deets, okay? All right, so I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you try it too. Really, it saves a ton of time, okay? So, okay, on to part 2 of our doubleheader. We have a DIY for you that is so adorable. Check this out. This is so cute, isn't it? It kind of looks a little bit farmhousey to me. I kind of really, really like this. And y'all, guess what? I made this out of all the materials I had here. This cost me $0 to make. Now, if you had to buy the things to make this, you could get everything at the Dollar Tree. It cost you probably about $4 or $5, Of course, if you need everything, like the glue gun and all that stuff, probably a little bit more. But you can make this with scrap wood and pine cones. I think it looks so cool. Perfect for your mantle, or maybe the center of your dinner table or coffee table up above the fireplace would look cool too, right? All right, so let's get right to it. For this project, you will need, obviously, pine cones. I got my bag of pine cones here. I have so many pine cones. Y'all, I love pine cones. I love them. I collect them from everywhere we go. Like when we're on vacation or traveling or something, if I see pine cones, I snatch them up. I just always loved pine cones, right? And I had a lot more of these, but I used them for, well, this project and some other ones too. So, you want some pine cones, okay? Then we need some type of base. Now, for mine, I just used a scrap piece of 1x1 board that I had. Okay, I think I used it for a trellis outside or something. So I had a scrap piece of that. You can use anything for a base. I got these over at the Dollar Tree. Check that out. It's like a little mini palette. That would be perfect for it. There's a little oval one that would look nice, and even just a scrap piece of wood will work for it too. For the purposes of our demonstration, I'm using this piece of 2x4 that was just a little scrap that I left over, okay? In addition to that, you'll need some dowels, and they have these over at the dollar store, like so. You could use some bamboo skewers, or for my project, I used candy making sticks. Oh yeah, these are so cool to use because you know what? They're already white. I didn't have to paint them. Perfect. Did you ever paint a doll? It's like, it's a pain. It is a pain. Okay, so we're going to use candy making sticks for this one. Okay, now that's your basic materials that you need. In addition to that, you will need some tacky glue, maybe some glitter, you'll need some paints. I used red and green and white, and when we do ours, I'm using this really cool blue color here. You also need an awl, or even a like a paring knife will work, or a really thin screwdriver, and some brushes, and then some accents like greenery, or maybe some little mini poinsettias, something like that. All right, so let's get right to it. All right, so we'll just do this in steps. Step one, we're going to prepare our pine cones. All right, so for mine, for the one that I have already finished, I wanted to give it a little bit of glitter, and I think a little bling looks pretty good. I mean, I don't know when bling doesn't look good, but that's just my opinion. So we're going to use this Big Daddy here, all right? So first what we're going to do, you know what, let me use a smaller one so I can show you actually, because I want to show you how this works. Here, this one will work. Okay, so see the bottom of your pine cone like that. It sometimes will have a little stem on it. Just kind of break that off, or take your scissors and snip it off there, just so it's relatively flat, okay? And this is where your awl or your screwdriver comes in play. What we're going to do is insert it just in the center of the bottom there, where the stem would be, and we're going to make a little hole just by going like this. Okay, just a little hole. You know what? The dowel rod just needs somewhere to set. It doesn't have to go all the way up in or nothing. You just want something, and I don't know if you can see it, but there is a little hole in there, okay? Next, we're going to apply our glitter. And, you know, I mean, I don't know if I really have to show you this, but grab my brush here. I have a little bit of tacky glue or craft glue. And it's as simple as, here, we'll use the big one. It's as simple as, really, don't have to be neat. We're going to be covering this with glitter. Just like so. All right, all the way around. And then grab your glitter. I think I'm going to, this is, what, this is green. We'll use green for this, but I think for the finished product, I might want to use silver. All right, so, and we're just going to all the way down like that. Cover all of your glue up like so. All right, now we have some bling bling. Now, tacky glue will dry clear, so no worries there. You could also take some white paint and do just like I did with the glue, and it'll look like snow has fallen on your pine cone. All right, so now that part is done. Set it aside and let it dry, and we'll move on to the next step, okay? Now, when working with glitter, always use a box turned upside down to catch the glitter when it falls, okay? Or you're going to have a mess like I just did. It gets in the carpet. It's so hard to get up, let me tell you. All right, so let's see. I want to do this in order. So now we're going to go on to the base. I'm going to use this piece of 2x4 here, okay? So what we're going to do is, whatever you're going to use, make sure it's sanded so you don't have any rough edges, all right? And that's pretty sanded there. I'll use this for demonstration purposes only. And check this out. I'm going to use this blue metallic paint because my little color combination for this is going to be blue and silver, all right? And this is such a cool color. Oh, man, I love this. If you remember, we used this when we made our celestial pumpkins a few months ago for our new moon video. So here we go. I'll just show you how it looks real quick there. And obviously, we just paint it. Now, I don't need to show you how to do that, but depending on the paint that you use, you may have to do 2 coats to cover it all completely, especially metallics, because you really want that, like, shine to show through, so to speak. All right, so here, let me set this aside. All right. And this is the finished product. See? It's metallic. How cool is that? Yeah. All right. Okay. Now we're going to set that aside and let it dry. Now, next step. This is the fun step. Now, we have our pine cone, right? And we're going to attach the dowel rods to it. Now, it should be dry now. The glitter should all be dry on there. I'm going to use this one. Here, you know what? We'll use this one. This is my silver coated pine cone. And I better put my hole in there because I didn't do it. All right, perfect. Okay, now we're going to get our dowel rod, and I'm using these because they're already white, all right? And, okay, where your hole was in there, you're going to take your hot glue gun, and you're going to put some hot glue down in there. And, use a decent amount. It doesn't have to be perfect, but, and the hot glue will dry clear as well, and we will touch it up later if any drips. And then you're going to insert the dowel into that hole that you made. Now, you're going to want to hold it just like this until the glue sets or cools down a little bit, and that takes about maybe 10 to 15 seconds, all right? And you'll know because it won't fall off, for one thing. Now, I don't know if I put enough glue on this one, but we'll set it aside now. Okay, it's holding on, so we're going to set that aside and let it dry. Perfect. Here. Probably add a little more glue to him. Oh, no, it works. Okay, so I'm going to set him aside and let him dry. Okay, so next, ooh, the big boy toys. Okay, so we're going to drill our hole in our base, okay? I have this set on a very sturdy surface, okay? Now, you can use a rotary tool for this. I have my rotary tool, but I didn't have a wide enough bit on it. But these things are really handy for stuff like this. So I had to get out my drill. Oh, yeah. Power tools! Yes! Alright, so now we're going to just drill a tiny little hole into our base, and that is where our dowel rod is going to go in to hold up our pine cone, okay? Now, to do this, you don't need to do it deep or anything. Again, we just want a little divot so that it sits down in it, alright? So I'm going to do this one right in the center, and, you're going to want to figure out... Let me shut up for a second. Perfect. Okay. So, as you can see, it's just a little bit down in there. Maybe 1/8 of an inch. Just enough for it to, fit down in, so to speak, okay? Alright, so that's perfect. What's the next step? Our next step is to attach our pine cone into our base. Alright, so I'm hoping this is dry. Ah, it is! Okay, so we are dry. Okay, so now the next step is we're going to take our glue gun and we're going to fill our hole up with hot glue. There we go there, and you can be generous there. We're going to cover up anything that's, kind of hanging out down there. And let's see, figure out which way you want to be front. So let's see, it's a little awkward, so that's going to be the front. Alright, so we're going to put it right into that little divot we drilled. Give it a little twist there, okay? And I'm going to set it down like that. And then again, we're going to hold this so that the glue sets. And again, that'll take anywhere from 10 to about 15 seconds. Now, that is, of course, depending on how large your pine cone is. This one's pretty big, so I'm gonna say it's more like 20 seconds for this. But just a note about adding some accents to it. Now, I have my little container here, and this container I fill throughout the year, really, with little things like greenery, some things that had fallen off, ornaments, little charms that come with candles, even some large earrings, things like that. Anything that would, you could add to a project that you're doing, So in here, for ours, we're going to use some greenery, and we're going to use a little present, and check this out. This came on a wreath that I had, and I had taken it apart for some reason, probably to use the stuff that was on the wreath. And look at this. a little bag of reindeer food. How adorable is that? This is going to look cool on here. All right, so are we set yet? Voila, we are set. Okay, so now we're going to decorate the bottom. Now on this one, I just added some greenery and some red berries. I thought that was just enough for that one. Now on this one, since it's a little more flashy, and yep, it is. There we go. Let me turn it around the front so you can see here. The glue hasn't completely cooled yet, so I just hope it doesn't fall over. Alright, so we're going to do that with the base there, alright? So, let me get my little box over here so I can show you how to do that. Okay. That should work. That should be good. Alright. Yeah, perfect. Alright. Oh, note about glue guns, too. You'll always have these little angel hairs hanging off. Make sure you remove those before you gift this or put it on display. Alright, so what are we going to do to the bottom? Alright, so I think I'm going to add some greenery. Like so. And then, how about some reindeer food? Yeah, that's cool. Alright, and I even have a little present here. So, you just attach it with some hot glue. Hot glue is like so cool. Set it down like that, and we can puff it all out later. I'm not worried about that. Turn you around. There we go. And see, let's do this one here. Go there. Angel hairs. Like that. Let's see. I want him to kind of be front and center, so I'm going to put that right there. So I'm going to add some hot glue down here. Like so. And let's see, I think we'll attach them like that. There we go. Ah, how cool is that? Okay. Nice. So we got that just like that. Maybe I'll even add him on there. Too much, you think? Too much? I don't know. Well, anyway, you get the picture. Now you can have fun, be creative with that part of it. Add some little accents down there. Oh, I think that's cool. I like it. Very, very nice. And then we'll fluff it up here and there. And then that is it. You have your finished product. Ah, pretty cool, huh? I really love it. Now, I will post this project over on Facebook for you. You know, step-by-step instructions, some pictures. I'll take some pictures of all the finished ones. I'm making two really big ones for a friend of mine who has a fireplace, and she's going to put it on either side of her fireplace. I'm going to use some big pine cones like this and some 2x4s. I think it's going to look really cool. So I'll get some pictures of all that and post the project over on Facebook. Guys, I really hope you enjoyed the video tonight. I had so much fun doing it and spending time with you. And I hope I hope it inspired you in some way. If not to make this project or your own homemade gem, at least to decorate and try to be a little festive this season. We need it for sure. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Please check us out over on Facebook. It's SmokeySteveAndMarc. We're also on Twitter and Instagram. All of our contact information is listed right below. That's our post office address. If you want to be part of our Christmas card exchange, that's going on right now. And our email address. If you have any questions on anything we did in today's video, please shoot me an email and I'll get back to you, okay? Thanks again for watching, everybody. Please have a fantastic night and a wonderful week. And remember, you know the drill. Stay safe, stay well, but above all else, stay positive, everybody, okay? Ciao! I will see you next time!